is solving quadratics by square rooting. So far, we've solved quadratics 2 ways. Can anyone tell me one of the 2 ways we've solved a quadratic?
B squared minus 4ac.
That was to tell us how many solutions we had to a quadratic. That was the discriminant. We solved by factoring. Okay, so that's what we've done the last 2 days, is we've factored, and then we solved. Solving meaning, what is x, right? Solve for x, okay? What was the second way that we've solved quadratics? You did it on your last test. Christian's doing it right now. Graphing, okay? So far, we've learned how to solve a quadratic by graphing it. And when we solved by graphing, here you go, Christian. I'm lobbing it up for you right now. When you solve by graphing, what are your solutions? Your x values, right? So here and here, okay? That's solving because x was some numbers, right? Okay, solving is finding your x. When we did factoring, same thing. We got to a point where we said x equals 2 and x equals -4. And then we had solved, right? So today, same thing. We're going to solve, but we're going to solve by square rooting. So the goal is still get to x equals something, okay? We just got to figure out how to get there. So how you know when to solve by square roots is when your equation looks like this. Ax squared plus c equals 0. How is that different than the quadratics we've been working with? There is no b term, okay? We've been used to doing this. Ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Well, now there is no bx, so b must be a 0, right? If b is 0 and we just have ax squared plus c, then it's really nice because you don't have an x squared and an x anymore, which is what causes trouble when we're trying to get x by itself, okay? So now it's going to be a couple simple steps and you're done. Honestly, you guys, this is the easiest one in my opinion. You can disagree with me, but I think this is the easiest way to solve. So no bx term, you're going to solve by square roots, right? These guys, you're going to do a whole lot of square rooting of things today. Here's your 2 steps. Step number 1, you're going to isolate x squared. What does it mean to isolate? Get it by itself. So the goal is get x squared by itself first. Once you've done that, now you have x squared equals something. How do you get rid of a squared? You square root it, okay? Those are your 2 steps every time. Isolate, square root, you're done, okay? So here's the deal. If this is my setup, this example here, x squared minus 49 equals 0. If I'm trying to get x squared by itself, what do I have to do? You gotta, not square root yet. How do I get x squared by itself on one side? Add the 49. Do the opposite. Do the inverse. So now I get x squared equals 49. Is my x squared isolated? Is it by itself on one side of the equation? Yeah. Yes, it is. Okay, so once we've isolated, now what? Square root it. Okay, so I square root this and I square root that. Now here is the rule that is the only thing that causes a problem in this lesson, in my opinion. When you square root something, thank you, sir. The number that could replace this x right now could be the number 7. Is there any other number that when you square it becomes a positive 49? No. There is. 7. What else? Not 3.
Wait, you said what?
Is there any other number that if I say this number times itself will equal 49?
No, only 7.
It is 7. There's something else too. Why do I always tell you to put parentheses around a number before you square it? Because what showed up? Why do we put parentheses around something? Because there's a what? A negative. Think about this. The number -7 squared is what? Positive 49. Okay, so here's the deal. This is what everyone messes up on this lesson. Your answer is not just 7. Your answer is 7 or -7. You are allowed to write it like this every single time, plus or minus 7. Okay, because if I plug a negative 7 in, it's still a positive 49. And if I plug a positive 7 in, it's a positive 49. Okay, so when you square root both sides of an equation, you should get 2 answers every time. Okay, so maybe put a big old highlight on this. A positive number always has 2 square roots. Okay, you should be getting 2 answers, the positive and the negative of whatever that number is. All right, so look at number 1. X squared minus 16 equals 0. What's your first step? Plus 16. Add the 16 to the other side. So now it's x squared equals 16. What's your next step? Square root. So square root both sides, and you get x equals, be careful, what does x equal? Plus or minus, okay? When you square root both sides, write that plus or minus right away. The square root of 16 is 4, so we're done. Okay, now go down to number 3. How do you what?
How do you square a number again?
Square root a number?
In your calculator?
Which calculator do you have? So you're going to go second x squared. Got it? By the way, your calculator, when you take the square root of 16, is not going to tell you plus or minus, right? It's going to tell you 4. You have to remember that it could be the positive or the negative, okay? Okay, look at number 3. This one's different. What's your first step? First step's not different. Minus 25. Okay, now look. X squared equals negative 25. What's your next move? Square root. Plug that into your calculator. The square root of negative 25. Nothing multiplied by itself equals a negative, right? So when you get to this point, you just say no solution, okay? You cannot square root a negative. Okay, so that's the only little hiccup that you got to watch out for when you're working these out. Okay, I want you to try number 4, and I want you to try number 6. Number 6 is a little bit different, but the rules are the same. 2 steps. Isolate, square root. Okay? Give that a go. Isolate, square root.
Wait, why is number 3 no solution?
You cannot square root a negative number, and when you moved that 25 over, it became negative. So if you plug the square root of negative 25 in your calculator, it's going to tell you like syntax error or something. You can't do it. There's no number that if you multiply it by itself, it equals a negative. Because a negative times a negative is a positive, and a positive times a positive is a positive. Hey, solve them both. Isolate your x squared. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. How do you get x squared by itself right now? Yes, you do. How do you get x squared by itself? Yeah.
Can you not square root 48? Ricky, come on, bro.
It's not 48. Look at what's happening on that one. That's 6 times x squared, not 6 plus x squared. I'm going to help you in just a minute. I just want you to try.
Help me, Mom.
Wait, so it would be 9. It was positive negative 9.
See, this is what I'm talking about. Y'all think you can't do it, but you can do it.
That was like... Now
Plus or minus? Yeah, the plus and the because it's negative and a positive. Because of 9.
All right, tell me what you did on number 4. What's your move, Mateo? -7. So isolate is your first step. When you do that, you get x squared equals 81. Harley, what's your next step? Square root. Okay. So x equals, Paige, what do you have to write next?
the plus and the minus.
plus or minus. Okay, whenever you square root both sides, plus or minus, and then you get a 9. Okay? Okay, go down to number 6, because this one is different. But you guys know how to isolate this. How do you get 6x squared to just be x squared? You do what? You divide by 6. Okay, this is multiplication. Do the inverse. So divide by 6. Oops. Divide by 6. So now it's x squared equals 9. Have you isolated your x squared? No. Are you sure? We have, right? If x squared's by itself, it's isolated. Okay, so once it's isolated, then what? Square root. Both sides. Reese, what do we got to write next? When you square root both sides, how many answers? Plus or minus. X equals plus or minus. What's the square root of 9?
3.
3. Done. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Because this is 6 times x squared, right? So to get rid of something, you always do the inverse. You do the opposite. So the opposite of multiplication is division. If it was 6 plus x squared, then you would subtract it, right? Because you want to do the opposite. You want to get rid of it. But right now we're multiplying, so the opposite of that is to divide. Okay, go to number 10. Is it? On number 10 here, is your x squared isolated? No. Okay, so what is our first move to isolate x squared? Plus 45. We're going to add 45. Okay, so now we have 5x squared equals 45. Is x squared isolated? No. What do we have to do? Divide. Do the opposite, right? Right now it's multiplication. So we're going to do the inverse, and we're going to divide. So now you have x squared equals 9. Is x squared isolated?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so once you get x squared by itself, what's your second step?
Square root.
Square root both sides. So square root, I get x equals, Lincoln, what do I have to write? Plus or minus, and then take the square root, okay? Don't forget the plus or minus. If you are square rooting both sides of an equation, it has to be plus or minus every single time, okay? Yeah, if you would rather write it like this, x equals 3 and negative 3, you totally can. Okay, flip it over. Not the last one. It was cute that you tried, though. I love it. Always worth a shot. Okay, here is just one little goofy thing, but you know how to do these. You've done this before. Zeros can be irrational, okay? Which means we're going to land in simplest radical form sometimes because we don't ever want to give a decimal answer, okay? So this is what happens when you do the whole process and then you go and you square root it in your calculator and you don't get a number like 4 or a number like 3 or a number like 10, right? You don't get a perfect square, okay? So sometimes you're going to have to break it down into simplest radical form. And I'm going to show you 3 of these just for a little bit of practice with it. And then we'll call it a day. All right, number 17. Tell me nothing changes here. The steps are the same. What's your first step? Plus 3. We got to isolate x squared. So plus 3. So we get x squared equals 3. Have we isolated x squared?
Yes.
Yes, it is by itself. It's ready to go for step 2, which is what? Square root both sides. Okay, now when you square root both sides right now, you've gotten into the habit of plugging in the square root of 3 and getting this nice, beautiful number. Plug in the square root of 3. What do you get? A decimal. If you land on a decimal, then you have to put it into simplest radical form. Do you remember doing simplest radical form? The same rule applies. You still need the plus or minus, okay? But then the goal is, could you break this 3 down into a perfect square and a non-perfect square? If you can, then you do. If you can't, then you don't. You just leave it as is. So think about the perfect squares. 4, 9, 16, 25, right? That list of numbers that are perfect squares. Is 3 divisible by any of them?
Yes. 9.
No.
9 is divisible by 3, but 3 is not divisible by 9. So you need to ask, is this number divisible by any of those? And it's not, so you're done. The square root of 3 is how you're going to write your answer. Because if you plug it in, you get a decimal. We don't want a decimal. Okay? It is a little weird. Okay, go to number 18. Talk me through the steps. Step 1. Plus 8. So I get x squared equals 8. Have we isolated x squared? Yes, we have. Okay, so step 2. What do?
Square root.
You square root. Okay, get your calculator and type in the square root of 8. You get a decimal. Okay, so this is not a perfect square. What should I write in my answer right now before I mess with anything else? Plus or minus. Okay, so x equals plus or minus. We're going to take the square root of 8, and we're going to see, can we break it down into a perfect and a not perfect? So look at your list of numbers. What is 8 divisible by? It is divisible by 4, which is a perfect square. Okay, so we're going to say 4 times what gets me 8?
4 times 2.
2. Okay, so now this, you guys, is exactly the same as this, just in a different format. Can you simplify that root 4 times root 2?
Yeah.
To what? 2
To 2 and
root
radical
2. Yeah, so the square root of 4 is 2. The square root of 2 we can't simplify. So your answer is plus or minus 2 root 2. Simplest radical form. Last one. Here we go. I said 3 more. 1, 2, 3. I'm not lying. Okay, number 19. What's your first move?
minus 8.
Take away 8. Okay, so we get x squared
Equals negative, or no, 48.
equals 48. Have we isolated the x squared? Yes, we have. Okay, so once you've isolated, then what? Square root. We're going to square root both sides of our equation. The square root of x squared is x. Make sure you put your plus or minus in. Type in the square root of 48 in your calculator. What do you get? A decimal. Okay, so that means we've got to put that square root of 48 into simplest radical form. Now, here's the deal with this one. 48 is divisible by 4, but you don't want that one. You always want the biggest one, right? So you want to start high, right? It's not going to be 49 because 48 is less than that. 48 divided by 36 is not a nice number. 48 divided by 25 does not work out to a whole number. 48 divided by 16 is what?
3.
16 times 3 is 48. Okay, so check that list in descending order. Start high and work your way down. What does this simplify to?
4 radical 3, but can't you square 4 again? Or do you
No, because we took the square root, right? But I love that you said that because a lot of you try to do this. The square root of 16 is not the square root of 4. It's the number 4. So once you've taken the square root, you're done with the radical. Okay, don't put another radical around it just because 4 is also a perfect square, because then you cheated. You did extra things that you're not allowed to do. You made up a new math rule, okay? So this should be 4 times the square root of 3 plus or minus, and you're done.
Wait, so how do you check if your answer is correct?
Well, it's a little difficult to plug in, but you could plug it into your calculator like this. Remember, whenever we see an X, it's parentheses for whatever our number was. So you could go like this, 4 times the square root of 3. The trouble is your calculator starts a parenthesis here, so you probably have to put another one there and then another one here and square it and go plus 8. So you're just typing this in, and you should get 56. right.